got to tell you this. This is actually comical. There's an attorney general in New York. Apparently they call her Tish. Joe Piscopo this morning kept calling her Tish James. Her name is Letitia James. Do you... I can't even believe it. I'm going to say these words. Do you know who she's blaming and who she's suing over the violence and clashes and riots in New York after George Floyd's death? She's suing the NYPD. She's suing them. I'm not kidding you. You think I'm pulling your leg? Here's the New York Post editorial. Yesterday, State Attorney General Letitia James filed a lawsuit against the NYPD for supposedly excessive force and false arrests during the Black Lives Matter protests/riots this summer. The suit alleges that the NYPD and its top brass have failed to address a long-standing pattern of abuse. There's no question, the lawsuit says, that the NYPD engaged in a pattern of excessive, brutal, and unlawful force in suppressing overwhelmingly peaceful protesters. Overwhelmingly, she said. Overwhelmingly. Now, the New York Post points out, Letitia James evidently has an early bedtime because as darkness fell, these protests became overwhelmingly unpeaceful very quickly. Activists ignored curfews, yelled, spat, pushed cops, windows were smashed, stores looted. New York City became a boarded-up wasteland. Especially in the wake of the Capitol riot, it's the liberal narrative that everything over the summer was overwhelmingly peaceful, conveniently ignoring the attacks on federal buildings, the squatting in streets, looting, and deaths. Deaths. Who would want to be a cop with a lunatic like this? The New York Post rather appropriately says Letitia James's suit is pure grandstanding, not part of the solution, but part of the problem. It's rancid. It's I don't know how to read that to you. Anybody in New York saw, did you see all the marching out of with nothing screams social justice better than walking out with Gucci purses, or a Target under your arms, all the I can't even. Then this headline, a new study. It's like we're in the loony bin. I swear it feels like this is just massive trolling. Let's go. Yeah, it's the police officers' fault when people were burning down buildings. Got it. Good. Here's a new study evaluating COVID-19 responses around the world. You'll find this interesting. It found that mandatory lockdown orders did not provide significantly more benefits to slowing the spread of the disease than any other voluntary measures such as social distancing or travel reduction. Oh, you think? Really? Tell me more. The peer-reviewed study, which was conducted by a group of Stanford researchers and published in the Wiley Online Library on January 5th, analyzed coronavirus case growth in 10 countries. Okay? England, France, Germany, Iran, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, and the U.S. Those are countries that implemented mandatory lockdown orders and business closures. Compared that to South Korea and Sweden, which implemented less severe voluntary responses. It aimed to analyze the effect that less restrictive or more restrictive measures had on changing individual behavior, curbing the transmission of the virus. The researchers used a mathematical model. Under that model, the researchers determined there is no significant, clear, beneficial effect of more restrictive measures on case growth in any country. Great. Well, I'm glad to hear that now. Good to know. And you know what? I'm going to just try to be fair here. I'm going to try to be a normal, decent human being for a minute. I don't know that or believe that all the Democrats who are mayors and governors just wanted to destroy their states and their economies just so they could destroy it. I don't believe that. They just don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing. They're clueless. They're underwater. They're just lost. Cuomo is lost. One of the worst governors. History will judge him as one of the worst governors in the history of America. And New Yorkers even are starting to pay attention. Now he wants to open everything up quickly? Really? Huh.